mean they're really angry and sad and their personal lives are not where they want them to be. And I just want to say nobody's is right now. We are all so broken and confused. I mean, I was up the other night thinking, oh my God, I have bones. I have a heart that like regenerates blood. Like, I'm gonna have to live in this body for like another X amount of years, and it's like really upsetting. I didn't ask to be here, nerd. To be like conscious, living in like a flesh and bone body with like a heart beating and bones and blood. I'm like, why am I disgusted by the way like life works? Why am I disgusted by like the blood and shit and bones and like raw material of life? Like, I am not even an animal person. I like cats. You know, other animals, I can appreciate them when they're on like a screen or from afar, but I don't want to like be up close and personal with all the body fluids of animals either.
So I say it all the time, and most people watching this channel know. I mean, I don't want to lump vegans all into one category, but for the larger majority, and this is a sickness that we see in modern, culture in our society as well, there's a lack of fulfillment, they are lost souls, if you will. And that's not really to put them down. It's just, it's the world we're growing up in, right? As humans, we were created to want to be productive, to want to bring something better, to want to believe in something and create. And so when we are not productive in ways that feed our soul, if you didn't watch my last video I did about vegan gains, I talked about this shared experience that is so crucial to being healthy and our development. And because people aren't working hard anymore, really, not in a laborious sort of way. And that's the thing. Being productive doesn't necessarily have to mean that you are making millions of dollars or, even hundreds of thousands a year. You can be happy, genuinely happy and healthy, and live a long life by merely being productive in a way that fulfills you. So I think this happiness comes naturally as children. You just have this desire and want to explore and live your life, and you want to be active. You want to be doing things every day. It's all fun to you. And then you grow up and you realize you have to work hard just to survive, just to live in this world. Except not in the ways that would fulfill you necessarily, for the most part. Most people, they just go to a 9 to 5, they're running to the grocery store, hurrying home. Sometimes they're just grabbing dinner out. And so they reach for other ways to understand how to be fulfilled deep within their soul. And most people never find it. This is where veganism steps in. These people will tell you they don't even necessarily like animals. They don't want to get up close to them.
Live and stay relevant in society for probably another X amount of years. And I'm just like why? The answer to an existential sadness that I have of just like, where am I? What's an arm? Why am I in a body? What am I supposed to do with looking life? Seriously, what am I supposed to do? I definitely do not want to reproduce myself. I think that is like the grossest plan ever. I don't want to like sleep in a bed with the same male for another 30 years.
Selfish reason to have a child. Like, I don't want to have someone look exactly like me or have my eyes. If anything, that's kind of a little bit creepy.
So there's this phenomenon with vegans being literally disgusted at the thought of having children. Not just not wanting them, but being disgusted by this thought. And I thought about going and finding, multiple clips of this and multiple clips of vegans saying how they don't understand why we're here. They hate other humans. They don't even really like animals. They're just lost. They really are. They're not fitting in with the rhythm of being human. And I'm showing you Dorian Ryder here because this is his son that he literally didn't even know her mother's name when they were sitting here talking, making this video. He had to ask her, what was her name again? It was a one-night stand, you know, and he was a deadbeat. He was not in this child's life. And I believe not long after that, he went and got a vasectomy. And I believe in this video, he tells his son to also get a vasectomy. How amazing, right? How amazing to meet your dad one day and him literally tell you, yeah, that was a freaking mistake and you don't want to make the same mistake. So much so that I never even want it to be in your life at all. I've heard people refer to it as like a selfishness, when people don't want kids, or even some of these people could be narcissistic. And I don't want to say that because I don't think that's everyone's destiny. You know, it is generally, you know, the common thing that makes us happy. For the most part, this is what most people want to do. It's a generalization for everyone. But, you know, these things don't mean that everyone should do everything that we were put here to generally do, right? But, yeah, it becomes such a phenomenon with veganism that it can't be ignored. Like, there's something going on. So much so that it becomes part of their belief system that humans are a plague on this earth, and you would be selfish to actually want to cause more damage by, you know, putting more footprints on this earth, by doing more. So it's like this lack of, you know, soul food, this lack of shared experience, this lack of fulfillment. And then you throw in the lack of nutrition, the lack of hormones and cholesterol and all of that, everything that does actually make us grounded humans here on earth. And it leads them to this place where they decide everything about humanity is disgusting, actually. And then you throw in that most of them are atheists, so they don't understand or believe, you know, that we were created to be this way here on earth. And so they fight against it at every cost. They don't understand it. They actually come to despise it. And funny enough, I've heard from so many ex-vegans, they go carnivore, or they just eat heavily animal-based, and they start talking about how they never wanted children. But all of a sudden, this idea is popping into their head, and they start feeling this desire and this want. They gravitate towards it, towards life. You know, they want to create. They want to actually build memories and these experiences that I'm talking about. And hard work. There's something about hard work that I feel like is crucial as well. You know, there's this satisfaction when you've completed a project that you've put so much time and energy into that you know is going to benefit.
Equipped to make my own food. I'm like a little dependent baby on the food system. So it's like I can't really criticize the waste that like a vegan processed food makes because like I'm literally buying that. Like I'm a hypocrite because I buy that. I don't have access to a garden. I mean, I tried to grow my own food and it was really hard. Right before the the lockdowns last year, I bought all these seeds and I had these like these crates built for me. I spent money like to have somebody build me some things and I was just like, they would just die.
So she had to get somebody to come and build the setup. She said the crates, so I'm assuming she has like a balcony to put this stuff on. She doesn't have a yard. She couldn't even do that herself. And look, she has been vegan for I think about a decade, if not a decade, close to it. It took Fully Raw Christina, about like 15 years to start her garden, and she started an orchard now. But this is only because she has an abundant amount of money. She can pay people to come work on the land and help her with all of this. She has a ton of free time, and that's another thing. I'm not trying to criticize anyone because I know this takes a lot of time and hard work and whatnot. So not everyone has this space and the time to do this. But if you're a vegan and you're criticizing the way everyone eats, it should just be a given, right? That you should be trying to produce your food in a more environmentally friendly, animal friendly manner. And they would. They all would if that's what veganism was really about, as they say. But it's not. It's about trying to fill this gap in their soul. It's about the religion aspect. Otherwise, if there's meat on a plate that's about to be thrown in the trash that someone's offering them, they would eat it every time. So at least there are a few of them, like Vegan Gains and the Unnatural Vegan, who will advocate for eating monocrop food, for instance, and pesticides sprayed all over. They don't want to eat organic, and so they advocate for this because it's consistent with what they're saying and how they're living. Because once you accept how we were created to be on this earth as humans, you have to then accept, even if you're not going to eat meat, even if you're going to start growing food, you have to fertilize that soil with something. You need a full ecosystem. You need animals. And then if you need animals, but you're not eating them or you're not using them for anything, as vegans say they don't believe we should, you have to actually love them. You have to actually want to take care of them for no apparent reason other than to get their manure, right? And they definitely don't want to do that. They want separation. They want separation from the animals. They want separation from the humans. And they will tell you this over and over and over again. Just listen to them.
Toxic for the movement. They're angry. A lot of times they're Facebook moderators because they get a little bit of control, and then they like to spend their sad little lives behind their computers and deleting that person, and these mentality of people end up being the moderators, and that's the problem, because they end up being the gatekeepers of a lot of our communication. It's about control and ego with these people. And then vegans love to jump on the wokiest of the wokest, because veganism attracts this woke mentality anyway, because these people think they're right.
What induces this busybodiness? What makes a Karen? I think we all know the answer to this. You've heard it 1,000 times before, probably. Someone's interfering, stepping over their boundaries, and they're told, you have too much time on your hands. Get a life. Go look at anyone who is hardworking, whether they're poor or rich. If they're doing things with their hands, with their family or friends, with the people they love, hard work, they are happy. I can guarantee it, they are happy. When they stop to have a beer or a sweet tea or whatever it is they want to drink, a coffee, they're smiling, they are making jokes, and they are happy. They are happy to be around people. Now, I say shared experience because I really think that's a crucial key to all of this. You can't do all of this by yourself. You can't. I've seen people try it, and they are not happy. I've seen very grumpy old men working hard with their animals and on their garden and whatnot, and they're grumpy, and they become busybodies.
Various churches and trying to get people to believe in Jesus, and now it's that same annoying mentality that I did in church world, I've just been doing in vegan world. And I'm looking at myself, I'm looking at my Facebook posts, I'm looking at this life and identity that I've built for myself, and I'm just oh my God, I'm so annoying. I'm so annoying.
And I really like Maggie. She was actually the one that stood up for Jungla. That was that animal sanctuary that James Aspey and his girlfriend went and visited, and then tried to get canceled because some of their, nosy busybody followers were saying that it was not an animal rescue, it's a zoo, blah, 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 and they don't have proof, but they are going to find proof, and they're just talking and discussing and talking shit vegans do, right? Trying to destroy someone who's actually taking care of the animals. And not only that, but they would destroy the lives of those animals. So I'll link that in the description if you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you want to just go and support Jungla. So yeah, I like Maggie, but the question I have for her is this idea, she can't find it within herself, not right now at least. I do wonder if she were to start eating meat again. Would her mind change about this? If her hormones changed, if her health changed, as so many other now carnivores say. Maggie left what sounded to be a good Christian guy because she thought she married too young. She thought she didn't want that life. And in my opinion, and I could be wrong, of course, I do think she made a huge mistake. And I just want to ask her, I want to ask people like her what their plans are when they become elderly. You know, what if you end up with dementia or Alzheimer's? What if you have a stroke? What if you end up with complications, physical issues, and with veganism you likely will, where you need help just getting to the toilet, getting to the bath. Some people are lucky enough to have family to help with these sorts of things, even if they don't have a husband or a wife. And, some people are even lucky enough to be financially secure enough to just hire someone to come in the house and work, basically a full-time job sitting with them. And I used to do that, actually. That is a better alternative than being put in a nursing home. Oh my goodness, it is profoundly better, because when someone's coming out, it's just a one-on-one interaction, and you could even build a bond or something like that. I worked in nursing homes before, and these people, they get paid barely minimum wage, somewhere around that. So you get what you pay for. This is with any minimum wage job, when the employers are always frustrated at the type of workers they have. Well, you get what you pay for. If someone's not, incentivized to come in and grow at that company, they're not going to really see it as something they would be afraid of losing, right? So, yeah, when I worked in nursing homes, they would give one person, one CNA, a whole floor, a whole wing of elderly people who needed diapers changed. They needed to be rolled over. They would get bed sores. They would have all sorts of issues, moaning, complaining. It was so sad and so heartbreaking. And there were no family in sight. There was nobody coming to visit them. So that's basically what happens when you don't have children, when you don't have family, or you don't have enough financial security. You go into that sort of system where the people are paid very little. They are given a workload that they can't keep up with, and even if they could, they don't really care. Honestly, they don't really care deeply enough to take care of you in the way that you need to be treated and taken care of. So you don't have this connection with your own spirit, and so you can't connect with other humans, and you don't want to do anything that we were put here as humans to do. You don't understand it. And so we're all just animals then, right? Why are we not equal to all other animals? What makes us unique? What makes us special? You see what I mean? So, and you also have this deep longing to be beneficial towards this world, while you're here. So then what's next? That's where I'll leave you with the vegan lawyer's take on this, because a lot of vegans come to this conclusion that what's next is not only saving the animals, but giving them equal rights, because we're all animals. Y'all have a blessed day.
So there are two main long-term legal objectives for the animal rights movement. So the first is animal personhood, and that is basically that all animals are recognized under the law. They're recognized as individuals with legal personality. The second is inalienable rights for animals. That is rights that can never be taken away, no matter what the context or situation. By aligning herself as vegan, yet repeatedly excluding animals from discussions of moral, social, and political equality, Swayze of Unnatural Vegan and apologist laggards like her reinforce an ideology of human supremacy and act as one of the major obstructions to these two paramount objectives. But worldwide, animals are recognized under law as property, as chattels, as things to be used and exploited at the discretion of humans. They do not have personhood under law, which is a doctrine which gives legal personality to an individual or entity such as a corporation, as the case may be. Personhood guarantees individual rights, protections, privileges, responsibilities, and legal liability. Animals need legal protections. Animals need inalienable rights.
It's a religion at this point. It's a really weird, really sad religion.
So, in conclusion, I just want to say, you like me? Yeah, I just want to say, there you go, baby. And be very careful, like Christian said. We found a lake to go to.